This is a Clark University podcast.
Growing up, my dad told me, sometimes you have to take a step backwards to leap forward. Some of the most courageous decisions that I've had to make in life is taking that step backward. People feel like, am I quitting? Am I not good enough? Do I not have the capacity to do all of these things? Knowing your values, knowing your purpose, knowing what, you're trying to do in this world are key things for you to discern how to spend your time and when to say no and when to say, you know what, this is not the time to do this right now.
Dean Kamala Kiem knows that first-year students can feel overwhelmed when they arrive at Clark. The first year of college is an exploratory phase. There are more than 120 clubs and organizations on campus they can check out, not to mention all the options across Worcester for volunteering, recreation, and exploring nature. Kamala says it's the time to jump in and see where your interests lead.
We expect you to not have things figured out. And even if you feel like you have things figured out, we know that part of coming to college is growing and learning and uncovering more about who you are that can lead you into a different path. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about a liberal arts education. Think of your time here as a 4-year experience that you don't have to get everything done in your first year, but see the first year as lightly checking things out through being members of different clubs and organizations, and then eventually you might find an area that you're passionate about. A key part of this is helping them to explore who they are, what brings them joy, helping them to explore the kind of person and impact they may want to have after Clark or while at Clark. And through those conversations, we're hopefully curating opportunities for them to build off of those passions.
I'm Melissa Hanson, a producer in Clark's communications office, and this is Challenge Change. A common refrain heard during childhood is "don't be a quitter." But an important part of life is knowing when to say no. So how do students determine when to pull back from an activity or organization? Kamala has some suggestions.
There is a purpose to why you're here. You want to graduate. At the end of the day, attending a higher education institution is a tremendous investment of time and resources and effort. It's important to reflect on how you're spending your time. And if a club, an organization, or an experience is pulling you away from that priority, then I would say to think about a way of exiting gracefully. One of the things that I would caution against students is just abruptly ending their commitment to a club and organization or to a leadership experience. To have a thoughtful exit to the experience so that you maintain the relationships. Managing our time and priorities and knowing when to exert that time and effort into something versus another thing is an art and a skill that we're always developing and throughout our life. And so for our students, it's really practicing exceptional time management. And a big part of knowing how to manage your time effectively is knowing your values and knowing what's important to you.
Kamala says that sometimes it's necessary to find balance by making a practical choice over a passionate one.
I did my undergrad in business, and it wasn't necessarily something that I was passionate about. I had a practical degree that would allow me to live out my passion without being bound by maybe the salary that I would be making. There might be students, for better or for worse, are probably pursuing something academically because it's a very practical degree and they want to land a salary that makes sense for them. Some students may not have the luxury of not factoring that in terms of their academic pursuit. And so one way of making sure that they're living a very joyful and happy experience here at Clark is that they have interests in clubs and organizations for them to, again, live out their passion and their values. And who's to say that the two can't merge somewhere along the way? I was a first-gen international student. I grew up in Jamaica, a lesser developed country, very beautiful country, and very grateful for my upbringing. But we never had a lot of co-curricular experiences in my high school. So I knew that when I came to college, I wanted to really honestly get involved in everything and anything that I could. My involvement ranged from being in the Residence Life Council, Res Hall Council, as a president. I was a senator in student council. I was part of the international club. I was also an athlete. I became a resident assistant as well as a peer mentor. part of my activism was getting involved in the Stonewall Student Union. Because I do identify as a queer person, that became a significant interest of mine, and became involved in some activism through that club and organization while in college.
Getting involved extends beyond campus. Clark is nestled right into Worcester's Main South neighborhood, where internship opportunities, live entertainment, a variety of small businesses, and restaurants boasting an array of cuisines present ample opportunities to try something new.
That's one of the wonderful things about being at Clark. Like at the center and core of who we are is community engagement, specifically in the Worcester community. And there are a number of ways. One is we have the Office of Community Engagement and Volunteering. If you're a federal work study student, you can actually get a job at a community-based organization through that office. You can take an academic course that has a community engagement focus in Worcester. You can also intern in the community as well, and there are a number of opportunities through a platform that we call Handshake. There are several environmental community-based organizations that exist in the local community that not just through community engagement volunteering office, but through actual partnerships with our faculty and academic classes known as POP courses, which are highly experiential learning opportunities, and many of them are community engagement-based courses, and several of them are connected to the environment. Our students are extremely active in the local community, and oftentimes clubs and organizations will build alliances over a particular issue. And so you'll feel that pretty instantly, I think, upon arriving to campus here, is that our current students have a sense of what's happening in the local community and what are the issues that are there.
With the right combination of passion and fun, Kamala hopes Clark serves as a place for students to develop an understanding of their identity and purpose.
Clark University is a moment in time in terms of their life. You know, they're on a journey, and their journey will create multiple pathways for them. They're growing and developing. At Clark, we really are focused on the whole person. You know, once they leave here, they feel much more affirmed in terms of their purpose, and also they feel much more ready to take on the challenges that they would like to take on. And hopefully those challenges are helping society to be a better environment for the next generation.
To learn more about Clark, visit clarku.edu. Challenge Change is produced by Andrew Hart and Melissa Hansen for Clark University. Find other episodes wherever you listen to podcasts. A special thanks to Clark students Daniel Kelly and Nate Kidd for their contribution to this episode.
1, 2, 3,
Clark! You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Favorite spot on campus?
Academic Commons.
Favorite off-campus spot?
The Woosok Stadium.
How do you take your coffee?
Regular coffee with almond milk.
What Clark club or activity do you wish that you had when you were an undergrad?
I love Spree Day. For those who don't know, Spree Day is a tradition at Clark. Our faculty members cancel classes, and folks come and just really enjoy it, and it's wholesome joy.
What about your favorite local lunch spot?
Ooh, lunch. Bellin Cafe, right here on Main Street, right next to Annie's, yeah.
What is the most unique thing about Clark?
Our students. And I know many, Dean of Students folks might say the same thing, but our Clark students, to me, are the most unique and rewarding student population that I've ever worked with, because of the fact that they hold us accountable to ensure that we're doing the best that we can do for the local community, and that, we are transparent and authentic in living up to the values of equity and justice.